little sketchy.
Thank you.
Bruce in Oregon, you're up.
Hey, Mace, thank you so much. I have so many questions as a journalist, but to honor time here, I'll ask, of course, one. So, what was it like to be in such a male-dominated field? Being that only female fighter pilot in the Thunderbirds, and I guess one of two who were the lead in demonstrations.
Yeah, so my view on it kind of changed throughout my career, and I think the culture in those squadrons started to shift as well throughout that decade. I think I went through 3 phases. I initially, when I went to pilot training, decided I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I didn't even think about it. Like for me, it wasn't something that I worried about until it started to get highlighted by other people. So I kind of applaud my parents for, sending me out into the world with that view where I don't even think about it. But that's great until everyone surrounding you does, because that part, that's out of the control of how you were brought up. And there were a few times where it was really highlighted to me with comments like, I don't even know why I'm trying to compete against you, because they're going to give you one of the 2 fighter aircraft available to check a box, to like sexual innuendo stuff. And that kind of threw me on my back foot for the first few years of my career, because I had this hard time figuring out what I wanted my identity to be in this culture. And it's already really stressful, as you can tell from my call sign story. There's already a ton to learn. I was already feeling it over my head, like a lot of people do in the early years of a difficult career. But then I had this additional layer of complexity where it fell on my shoulders to determine what was acceptable culturally in the squadron. Like anytime anything was said that might walk the line of being acceptable, every head in the room would turn and look at me to see how I reacted. And I'm like the youngest. I'm a lieutenant. I'm the youngest in the squadron. I did not want that responsibility, and it shouldn't have been mine. That should have been the squadron commander that was deciding that. So I had that phase where I would say it added to my feelings of self-doubt and imposter syndrome. And then as I got to a really rapid growth period personally, I kind of got to the point where I didn't think about it again. And then we got to the Thunderbirds, where it was highlighted constantly, but I saw it as a huge asset, because the team's mission is not the same as a warfighting squadron. It's to recruit, retain, and inspire. And that third part, that inspire part, when I was the only female pilot for those 3 years, I could inspire half the population in a different way than my wingman could. Like it or hate it, it's true. I could connect with young women and little girls at a deeper level than they could. And I leaned into that, and it was awesome.